He married the
I
woman
don't
that
think
was
he
in
did stand up for a while. And
he married the woman that was in like Emmanuel. Remember those like softcore porns on Skinamax?
No,
That's who he like married.
I don't remember those at all.
I can't think of a single. You know the titles of those shows?
I think it
Those
was
were things
Emmanuel. It was something about like a season of desire.
I don't know
Or
what
one of
you're
those
talking
movies.
I watch any of those shows in like 5-minute increments before my folks walk in.
That's exactly
There's no title of a show.
Oh my God.
Jump button right away.
I wonder if it's better to be a kid now with that stuff. I think it's probably worse today. It's too much. Too
Yeah,
soon.
you gotta work. You gotta be have to work for it.
It's sensory
Yeah.
overload now with kids because it's so easy. Back then it was like, I had that cable box that was connected to the TV by a long wire, and like if I pushed 2 buttons down on that keyboard at the same time, you could maybe get like Cinemax.
An outline.
Yeah.
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 And it was like and you heard the noise was doot, 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 doot. That's the audio, and you could like, is that a breast? It might be a breast. It could be a boob. I'm not
So
sure.
true.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Oh my God.
Wasn't it inevitable, by the way, too, when you'd rent a movie, like from Blockbuster or whatever, you pop in that VCR tape, and like it could be a completely innocent movie, but the 5 seconds of brief nudity is exactly when your parents walk in.
Yeah,
on
for
that
sure.
movie. Yeah. It's like there's like 5 seconds in a 2-hour movie, and that's the moment they walk in, always, without fail.
We have a running joke. My dad can't. He says his THs as a T. So he came into the room and I was watching. I think it was Private Benjamin, which is not that bad of a movie, but
Love that
he walked
movie.
in
Goldie
the
Hawn. Goldie Hawn.
worst time. He goes, "What is this? This is filth." And so, and we would always, something would happen. I'm like, "Hey, Dad, this is filth who we're watching." So
Filth.
Oh,
that
that's
is
so cute.
Filthy.
filthy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Filthy, dirty.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FTS podcast, Friends Talking Shop. I'm your host, Dave. I'm back in the saddle hosting the podcast after, I guess, an experiment, maybe we call it. I guess, failed experiment. Should we call it a failed experiment?
A failed experiment.
Is that too harsh? Is that
maybe 50% failed?
The question is which one, Josh or I, which one of us is indeed Lou Gehrig?
Because Dave is Wally Pip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, we have to have emailers to respond to us to
Yes.
tell us that. I want to remain impartial, but
Right.
I am your host, Dave, and we are now at episode 40. Congratulations,
40.
guys. We've hit the 40th show anniversary.
So cool.
Who would have thought? And Josh, you mentioned that we've almost hit a year's worth of podcasts. I was surprised. I guess we do less than one a week, and we're at near 40. So I guess that about makes sense. So
Yeah,
we've
that's
been doing
right.
this almost a year. I thought that
Almost
was
a year. It'll be a
pretty-
year next month. Yeah.
Dave, you clearly haven't seen Josh's closet. He has all these different spreadsheets on the wall about different sort of metrics of the podcast
Yeah.
and like how it's pacing, how often we're doing it, like what the momentum is, and it's quite sad actually.
We are killing it with Danish kids age 7 to 9.
Yeah. That's what our humor.
They love
It's targeted. So you've heard from them already. Let's just introduce them. I'm also joined by 2 hosts. First is Josh. How are you doing this week?
I'm not doing well at all, Dave. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm wriggling around quite a bit. I have, and Omar does not know this yet. Dave, I mentioned it too, but I got shingles the other day.
Oh,
Yes.
So
And
for
my
those
friend,
that don't
my
know,
friend got shingles. You can't travel with shingles.
Well, you can when you're not, what's the word? Contagious
Contagious?
anymore, which I'm not.
After
So-
2 weeks, right?
No, you're not contagious after like 2 days.
It depends on the country. And if Fauci's there, that Nazi.
Oh my God.
Like in Australia, my friend's husband had it, and he couldn't travel for 2 weeks.
Well, the doctor told me I was good after my second day of my medicine. I'm no longer contagious.
you're coming to visit me too.
I'm
So
getting-
we better get this right. Is it
Here's
2
the
days
worst
or
It's
2
very
weeks?
painful. Was it painful for you,
yeah.
Josh?
It is horribly painful. I'm in such pain. It
Still.
felt like it's only been 2 days. It was 2 days ago, and I felt like I said to my wife, I'm like, boy, feels like my ribs are broken. I don't know what the hell I did, but it feels like my ribs are literally broken on my right side. And then later that night, when I was washing my face, in the bathroom for a night to go to bed, I look down. I'm like, oh my God, I got these lesions all over like my right side of my torso and my back.
Like
And
chickenpox looking
no,
things?
they don't. It's chickenpox related shingles. But these,
It's actually it's actually a derivative. It's a herpes related. It's like
It
a
is
herpes
actually.
simplex B or
It's
something like
It's
that.
funny you say that because the doctor told me, like, I'm going to prescribe you something they do for herpes, but don't freak out. I'm like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll try not to. But it looks like,
Don't tell my wife.
yeah, right. It looks like patches of bubbled up, blistered
Okay.
red skin.
Oh,
You
And
love
it
talking about
is-
this stuff.
Oh, it hurts.
Is it on you right now?
so- Oh yeah. I'm only in day
he's
3.
2 days in. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you show us? Can you show us?
You really want to see it?
I want to see it.
I'll show you. All right. So this is what they look like. I'll try to show you the worst one.
And Dave, you describe them, Dave.
Hard to see.
They look
Are those
like
bubbly?
welts.
Are they bubbly? Is there like pus? Oh wow, it's your back too.
Oh man, yeah, that's gross.
So what's
gross.
interesting about this, David, to me, is that for Josh, like I've always said this to Josh, and I've said it on these recordings as well on our podcasts. Josh has always been someone that I aspired to be in very few ways, but like
Not
one of
today.
them, one of them was that his demeanor is always so pleasant. He never seems stressed out, and one of the common causes of shingles is stress or working too hard. And we both know it's not the latter, right?
Yeah,
Josh.
right.
So
What are you
I mean,
stressed
Josh,
about, Josh? Well,
Josh, have you been stressed out recently?
No, I really haven't.
false. False.
Was it the Eagles?
The Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
It's
The
the
Super
Eagles
Bowl.
got you twice, which
Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know what it is, but this is first of all, there is a vaccine. There's a shingles vaccine,
Yeah.
but you really shouldn't get it, they say, till you're 50. And I'm close to 50. I'm not there yet. I'm 48. But,
Hold on. Is this your segue into the fact that I turned 51 today? Is that what that is?
well, listen, we'll get to your
Yes,
birthday in
we're
a
getting
second.
to that, yes.
We'll get to your
couldn't
birthday.
even get into
I
it.
knew you could not hold. You
Hey, this
couldn't
is
keep it
minute-
in.
what is it?
You
I
thought
waited
we forgot.
minutes.
You thought we forgot, and this is your chance to crowbar it in.
That's true.
Listen, we're gonna handle my shingles first, then we'll move to your meaningless birthday because 51 is not important whatsoever.
They're all meaningless.
Shingles, and the worst part about the shingles is I cannot sleep at all. It is so painful because no matter what position I'm in, it's so uncomfortable in a matter of seconds, and I have to keep changing positions, and it hurt. It feels like my ribs are broken, and
Doesn't
it
it feel
burns.
how about if you're in a bath?
First of all, you're not supposed. I thought about that. I'm like, maybe I should just take a bath and soak it. You're not supposed to do that.
Really?
So yeah, I was reading about it. It's that you want these things to dry up, scab up, and then fall off. And if you're in a bathtub, it just prolongs how long these things are on your body.
Oh my.
And even a shower, they say don't take hot showers. So I've been taking very like lukewarm showers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Are you taking OxyContin or any
no, I'm
painkillers?
not no, I am taking Aleve. Aleve seems to work the best. I've tried a whole bunch of different shit. But Aleve seems to at least give me a little bit of relief, not much. It still hurts like a bitch, but and then lidocaine ointment. The doctor said you can put that on there, and I got lidocaine ointment. First of all, I told my wife. My wife's been great about it. She went and she goes, I'll get your lidocaine for you. I said, oh, okay, great, thank you. And she goes and gets it, comes back. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is like for like injuries, like sports injuries. This is gonna burn the shit out of me because it had like menthol in it. I'm like, this is no good. I need straight lidocaine. So I had to order it on Amazon. It came that night. I put it on. It did next to nothing. Absolutely next to
By
nothing.
the way, I gotta say, I never saw you as someone who had any kind of grit. And the fact you're on this call in the peak of your shingles, I wouldn't be on it.
Omar, I coached my kid's basketball game yesterday, and it just was painful.
Can you breathe? Can you feel it when you breathe?
Yeah, I can breathe. No, I can breathe. I feel
But-
it constantly.
Yeah.
It's just constant.
Is it
There's
better
no
close
reprieve.
on or close off?
It's better with shirt off a lot of most of the time. Actually, when
So
I'm
why
able.
take your shirt off right now? You're okay with
I'm
us.
not gonna pop my top off. This is a pretty soft shirt that I have on, and I have to sleep with my shirt on. By the way.
Why? What's that?
Because because against the sheets it agitates
it's worse?
like
Okay.
worse, and then I also don't want shit to get on the sheets, whatever the hell it is.
So does anything feel good right now with you besides hearing my voice?
Besides your voice, no, nothing feels good. It is misery.
That's a pretty tough comparison. Yeah.
Misery.
Once you've hit your voice.
So I'm going to tell both of you, by the way, I'm going to tell both of you, I'm going to stress this right now. Get your shingles vaccine.
Yeah.
No, I've had chickenpox. I've had shingles too. I've had both.
Oh, you've had shingles.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it more than once though, right?
It was horrible.
It's very rare to get it more than once. Very rare.
Is that right?
You can get shingles a second time, but it's incredibly rare.
So what I was told is that if you get chicken pox, then it goes away. The virus lives in your body, and then that's what shingles is somehow it pops back out. And if you're saying stress is the cause of it, I kid you not. You must have been stressed out with that Super Bowl. I wonder if that's what caused it.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
It's a holding call.
It's very possible. It's very possible. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but obviously that's the only major stress point I could point in my life in the last week or so.
We haven't talked about that game, have we?
Well, I was going to do that next year, but I would write a letter to the Eagles and like send them a picture and say, "Look what you did, you idiots."
It was without a doubt the worst ending to a Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Yes, it was. It was
the worst ending. Which I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you can't end the game that way, dealing. It's just terrible. You can't do it.
Well, I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl, but let's go first to Omar. Omar, happy birthday! I didn't.
Happy birthday.
Is it 51? Is it really? Is it a higher number? It's only 51.
I mean, listen, my father's birth certificate for him burned in a fire in Pakistan, so we don't know how old he is.
Does he?
He doesn't know how old he is?
No. I think the range is between 82 to 86.
That's a big range.
Yep.
He has no clue how old he is.
Mom, how old is Dad? Do you know?
Omar is at his parents' house right now.
My mom has no
idea. Well, that'd be a weird question if he was. I guess.
Yeah, that would.
She's saying 80-something.
80-something. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
So what does he fill out on forms? What does his driver's license say? Because that has to have his birthday on it.
Yeah, but that's just a document. It's a piece of plastic, right? He made up that number when he came here from Pakistan.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, there's no rules in the 1930s or 40s.
Yeah, but he's had to have his license renewed since then. I guess they don't ask you.
Yeah, but it's the same. But they use that as the.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Omar, what are you doing for your birthday today?
I am spending the day with my mother, which is good. So I'm forcing her to go with me wherever I go, including the bathroom, which is a little weird.
What?
But I'm kidding, Mom. And then my niece is coming over here, and we're gonna spend the day cleaning my mom's room, and then I'm having them do stuff for me. So they're mailing a high chair to Puerto Rico. It's a very heavy box I ordered from Amazon. Yeah. I'm also having them clean my room upstairs. I'm making people do things for me on my birthday. That's the best part of my birthday.
Can I go back 2 steps? A high chair? What do you need a high chair for?
A high office chair.
Oh, a high office chair. See, when you say high chair, it insinuates that you have a baby that you want to feed.
Amazon does not deliver to Puerto Rico, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I had it delivered to my parents, and I need to send it to FedEx to have it sent to Puerto Rico from here.
Got it.
Oh, very nice. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. And we have a dinner at 5:30 with the whole family.
Oh, Applebee's?
Close. Maggiano's.
That's not close. That's better than Applebee's.
It's not much better than Applebee's.
Yes,
I'm surprised. Who picked the chain? You're not a chain restaurant
I did.
guy.
No,
did you? I did.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm with my family.
Maggiano's?
12 of us. They make a really good lasagna, and I love their chocolate cake.
Well, there you go.
The dessert.
But I order for delivery here all the time. I'm wondering if it will be as good in the restaurant as it is delivery. Sometimes it's not the case. That's not always the case. It's not always the case.
There's no restaurant that's better delivery than in the restaurant itself. It's impossible.
Look, there's a pizza restaurant called my favorite pizza by the slice is called, it's in Venice Beach, California, and it's called Jelena.
Okay.
And there's Jelena to go, which is the to go place, and there's Jelena, and the pizza in Jelena there is not as good as pizza to go is.
Okay, but that's 2 different kitchens, right? That's 2 different kitchens.
I believe so, maybe.
Yeah, that's a difference.
I think it is.
I'm talking about the same restaurant delivering versus serving you food in the restaurant. No way is delivery ever better.
Well, somehow the transportation made it better. Yeah, I think that'd be hard to understand why that would happen.
Yeah, maybe the styrofoam,
the scent in the Uber Eats the styrofoam car delivered something.
But they have better sort of devices to keep the food warm, right?
Yeah, but that still doesn't make it better.
Do you know that when you order, let's say you like a medium rare burger, okay?
Yeah.
When you order it, you should order it rare.
Yeah, because it continues to cook.
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah. And if you want it rare, you should tell them not to cook it.
Yes.
Just get the patty.
Put the slab of meat on
Because
there.
by the time it gets there, it's
Who
gonna
do you
be
know? Who do you know that eats rare meat? Do you know
nobody.
anyone?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't.
Grizzly bears,
Yeah, cocaine
My
bear.
dad.
but I don't know
my
any
dad.
grizzly bears.
My
Cocaine
dad
bear.
always says, "Well done." I don't get well done. I can't eat with someone who gets their steak done or meat done well done. It's just so
No, that's
weird.
bad. That's bad.
Well, can we go back to the Super Bowl? I'm curious to
Oh.
know how your experience was with it because
Well, I have
We have a-
shingles, Dave.
we have a bit. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, we have to get through it. It's not for me. It's for the fans of
Yeah,
our
of
show.
course,
We have
of
to
course.
cover because I went back to the last episode
Yeah, I heard.
and I quote Josh. I think we're going
Yes.
to win by 3 touchdowns.
Three
and
scores.
well,
No, 3 scores, not 3 touchdowns. 3
you
scores.
said 3 scores. Okay.
I said 3 scores.
And there's some controversy here because at halftime, the Eagles were up, 10 points?
10.
And Mahomes had just gotten injured. And therefore, at halftime, I text Josh, you must be feeling
Yeah.
pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Which then after the game, Omar accused me of jinxing the whole thing. So
Accused you? Yeah, you clearly did something.
Wow, I didn't even put
yes.
2 and 2 together with that jinx.
I didn't either. I
Yeah.
and I
was feeling
apologize.
So good.
That yeah, I am really sorry if that had any kind of impact. But what was the whole thing like? Like, at what point did you know this is not going to be as easy? And then all of a sudden, you must have felt like it's just awful when the thing ended.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
did
the
that
whole
go?
point was in the first half, we actually, as much as we were happy that we were winning and looked like we were controlling the game, which we clearly were, we still were harping on the fumble return for a touchdown. It's like, oh, if not for that, it would have been,
Yeah,
that
it
was a
would've been 17.
huge score, and that's not something he does. And there was a slight face mask on that play too that they
Face mask
call.
on who? After they got the fumble or before?
No, on the
fumble?
Chiefs. On Hurts. His face mask was grabbed. It was quick. It wasn't obvious, but his face mask was grabbed.
Well, you're saying if it was Tom Brady, it would have been called.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, it was Tom
Absolutely.
Brady. They breathed way too close to his body, and they would have called it. Yes.
Yeah.
A double personal foul, 30 yards, and free touchdown. So I did feel really good at half, and and I just thought, okay, we look really good, and our defense, by the way, tends to make really good adjustments at halftime too. We tend to get on slow starts and then adjust and then because the one thing we weren't doing even in the first half was getting to Mahomes. We just weren't getting to him, and that's the strength of our defense is our pass rush, which is number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then it seemed very obvious in the second half, like, oh boy, he is slicing through us like a hot knife through butter. And the difference is that Andy Reid's coaching, he was far superior to Jonathan Gannon's. And he knew what to do. And Mahomes never threw anything really past 10 yards, and he didn't have to. And it was all quick release, and it was well designed, and it was we could sense it. So when that final, it's funny now, but when it ended, I looked around and we're all like dumbfounded. It's quiet in my house, and a couple of the kids are real upset, and my one buddy's cursing up a storm. He's losing his mind. But the rest of us are all in dead silence. And we look around, and my other buddy, I'm like, where did Rob go? He was gone. Did you ever leave like that? He just walked upstairs and outside and drove home. And I'm like, did he even say goodbye to anybody? He didn't. He was
I can't think of a worse way to lose a game. I can't. If it was a Hail Mary, I would prefer a Hail Mary to lose on a Hail Mary.
100% a Hail Mary,
like that, or a kickoff return for a touchdown. That would be better than how that game ended.
They stopped them. It was 4th down. They were kicking to go ahead, and then the bottom line there is then we should have the ball.
Correct.
With a minute 10 and one timeout.
Yeah.
And that's it. If we can do it, we win. If we don't, whatever. And that's the end. And that's not what happened. They handed them the end of the game, and it was very.
I wonder, has that referee got? Is he still alive? Has he got how many deaths?
Has he got? I don't think he's coming to Philly anytime soon.
Well, the whole season has been marked by refs determining games, and like the NBA, this is how every game is determined: is the refs
it's really
who they want to
really
give
amazing
calls to.
Yeah.
So, well, we're really sorry.
Anyway.
I recall this happened in '98 to the Packers, and that same experience where people had parties ready to celebrate, and when it was over, people just picked up their stuff and left. Like no one
Wait,
talked. It was
Who beat
just
the Packers in '98? The
Denver.
Broncos?
Yeah,
Denver.
stupid Elway.
That was Elway.
Yeah, but that wasn't. But that game was always close. And what happened to the Packers? I don't understand. What happened in '98? It wasn't like that game. It wasn't like the Eagles game 2 weeks ago. How it
Well,
ended.
that was the beginning of the end. I think we had one Super Bowl win with the Brett Favre, Reggie White era, and the whole thing kind of crashed after that. That's the thing is you gotta catch it when you
No,
You got to
David-
strike.
David, I think speaking of crowbarring, I think you're crowbarring the Packers in this conversation.
Well, I did, but I know Josh's pain. I was
Yes.
losing
thank
a
you.
Super Bowl.
No,
is
you
really
don't.
tough.
It's
That's your
different
first
losing it
experience
that way.
losing.
Different
Well,
than losing that way. That I can't imagine
all
like the
bad.
Ravens being called in a holding call against the 49ers, and that's how they lost. And they ran the clock out, get the field goal at the end. That's horrible.
It was crap. It was crap. And by
Yeah.
only
Anyway.
the second time in NFL history that the team with a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl lost. Only
Oh,
the second time ever. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I think that at least you have a quarterback that you're going to sign. The Ravens aren't going to sign Lamar
No.
Jackson. I want them to trade him.
Don't worry. You have all-pro quarterback Tyler Huntley. He made the Pro Bowl.
That's
you
true.
Have him.
All right. Well, sorry, Josh. I knew
Thank you.
this
Thanks for
possibility,
revisiting.
and I thought you were gonna. Yeah, we just got to cleanse it. Now it's over. Maybe your
I
shingles
just
will
felt
start to.
I just felt another shingle pop up as we were reliving this.
Oh, sorry. Well, here's some good news. Is we got some emails this week.
Awesome.
And if you're listening for the first time and haven't heard the last couple of episodes, Omar is giving out a free bottle of whiskey.
I don't like how you're saying that. I
FTS.
prefer to say Omar secured, FTS secured through Omar, a very, very lucrative sponsorship deal
Yes.
Oh, okay.
with Deacon Whiskey,
Deacon Whiskey.
which is the whiskey of the gods. Okay.
All right.
And this has not been, no one on this earth yet has been delivered a bottle of Deacon. We're going to be going, the first shipments ever going anywhere are going to be given to our first 10 emails that we get.
It's
our
exciting.
listeners. Very exciting. And it's the brand, it tastes like, imagine whiskey that tastes like pancakes without syrup, but with a little bit of syrup. That's how good it tastes.
What's
Without
pancake?
syrup, but then
Yeah.
with a little bit of syrup.
Yeah, so not too much syrup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not too
Does it
sweet.
say that on the
Oh,
bottle?
It should.
Yeah.
It should.
might.
It says that on the back in fine print. Deacon Whiskey tastes like pancakes without syrup, but with a little bit of syrup. Deacon Whiskey.
It's such a good tagline. Yeah.
Good tagline.
One of the best. So for people who were the first 10 emailers to respond to this call of this secured special whiskey that Omar has gotten for us, we will ship that out to you. And we've gotten 2 already. 2 more have emailed this week.
fifth, because we had 3 up to this point.
Did we have 3? I don't remember.
So we have Corey B is getting
Yep.
a bottle of Deacon Whiskey. Mike G getting a bottle of Deacon Whiskey. Oh, maybe that's it. I missed that. You're right. Never mind.
Oh,
It's the shingles.
it's
I-
the
I
shake,
have-
yeah.
Yeah.
Let
it's
me
the
do the
shing-
math from now on.
Yeah, we'll do the. You do
I'll
the
I'll
math.
do that.
Yeah.
All right. So we had 2 last week. We have 2 this week.
Yeah.
One is from Jamie, and we'll make sure that she gets her
Jamie
bottle here.
L. Jamie L. getting a bottle of Deacon Whiskey.
And now, Josh, can we now unread? I've officially unread the email in the inbox, which
Yes. We unread. Unread them. Yeah.
thank you. And the second is from a Jim Y. And Jim, we're excited to hear from you.
Very
If
excited.
it's okay, I'm gonna read your email here because there's some interesting thoughts here. I don't know if you've heard this yet, Omar, but Jim says,
haven't.
"Hey, what's good?" First, he starts off with "What's good." Have you ever? I've
Yeah.
not used that as a greeting. What's good?
I don't use it either. He must be younger, but it's hey, what's good? That's like
Yeah.
hey, what's up? That's what the newer.
Well, I
kids
know
are
what it
saying.
means.
I don't
but
think
yeah.
I don't think that's true. What's good? I wonder where
Yes.
What's good is
You never
from.
heard that phrase? What's good?
I have heard it, but this doesn't mean he's young.
You think an older guy is saying what's good?
Yeah, I think he's in his 40s.
How can you tell that?
I've just never used it. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen
heard it.
before. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
I've
heard.
seen it.
So Jim goes on. I've heard the FTS podcast about Omar's friend's whiskey venture. The colonoscopy episode reeled me in. Love what you're doing. I'm a big whiskey fan, and yes, that is that's episode 13. So if you haven't heard the colonoscopy episode,
That's an old one.
It's an old one, but it's a cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale. Yeah.
My wife
so
is actually
idealistic
getting
back
one
then.
today, so
Now you
I
see?
might have her go back and listen. And
If we can reach just one person, so now we want everyone to get a colonoscopy, and we also want everyone to get the shingles shot. See what we're doing here at FTS?
yeah, well,
Mhm.
it's good. So he goes on. I'm a big whiskey fan. Well, let's be honest. I'm an alcohol fan. Would love to get a hold of a bottle of whiskey if it's still available. And Jim, yes, it is. But Jim then gives a little input. Just an idea. What if you did more short form content, podcasts that were just one of you for 10 minutes or less in between full episodes? I think that would garner some attention. Appreciate it, Jim. So my question to you guys,
Interesting.
have you ever heard of a short form podcast content? And
Yes.
which one of us
Galloway.
should
Scott
do it?
Galloway does it.
Who's
So
Scott
does,
Galloway?
I don't know who Scott Galloway is.
He's a probably one of the most popular podcasters out there. He's on Pivot with Kara Swisher, and he also has his own podcast called Professor G. He's also a professor at NYU. He's written about 4 or 5 best-selling books about like growing up, life, balancing, career. He's amazing. But he does, and also
Now he owes us advertising money.
well, he's very good. I actually just sent it to my nephews and nieces, one of his most recent podcasts today. And for my birthday, I want them to listen to it. He interviewed somebody who wrote the book called The Psychology of Money, which I think is very interesting. But the other guy who does it is a Navy SEAL guy named Jocko Willink. You know him?
No.
He does like 10-minute like blurbs, like
what encouragement or advice or
different
what?
things. Like I'll pull one up he did the other day, which is on for example, like one of them he did last week is just on know your strengths, your weaknesses, your attributes, know yourself.
That doesn't sound funny at all.
What we are what we pretend to be. The game is going on. The game is going on all around you. But these are more motivational, different than what we would do.
Yeah, they sound right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, which one of us would do a short? Actually, I could see Omar. You just wanted to get some things off your chest.
He just did one.
Yeah, Josh, I could see where you might do like some of your like a rant? Comedy, your stand-up that you've got in the lockbox somewhere.
In the lockbox
that you're just waiting to pull out.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know the short form content. It's kind of a mystery to me.
It's an interesting suggestion. We'll definitely spitball it and think about it.
I feel like our deal is to play off of each other, though. Like,
yeah.
I don't think we have a deal. I don't think we have a deal. I think
it's unwritten.
I think our deal was to explore different avenues. And I like remember last week when you guys had the 2 other emailers, Mike G and
Corey B.
Baron Von Dietz, Corey B. Like, and I was trying to get to the essence of what they actually wrote. Was it pertinent? Did it qualify? And you guys never read their emails. This guy,
we
chap,
did. We read Corey B's email.
And was it as this chap? What's his name? The guy who said, "What's good?" Jim. This is fantastic.
Okay, so Corey B had a question. Don't you remember? He had a question about what we do, quality over quantity, or price over quality, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, you won't sacrifice spending.
Yes, that's what it was.
Buying.
We talked about it. He gave us a discussion point. It was really good.
Okay.
Wrong again.
Wow. That's how you settle it. I will say, Omar.
No. I appreciate Corey B very much. I'm being a little bit tongue in cheek, but I love this. I love Jim's question. I think it's great. I think maybe we do something where like one of us interviews the other. Like I interview or you interview Josh.
That's not what Jim wants.
He wants one person just talking.
He wants a soliloquy. He wants a 10-minute soliloquy, short form podcast in between these masterful episodes that we've been delivering.
Well, so how about we do it? We each do one. We each do a 10-minute.
I like it.
Podcast.
Listen, if that's what the people want, you kind of have to give them what they want.
But
Jim Wise clearly has his
How
finger
about
on
something
pulse.
in between where let's say like Josh does one, but Dave, we're on it. So we'll make comments here and there, but Josh is just talking about something or doing a routine or a bit, whatever. That way we're kind of on it together, but it's really about like Josh in this instance, or you and another one, or me.
He will. It's like giving a speech. He's going to give a 10-minute sort of, and then we can.
Well,
be the audience.
With us being the peanut gallery. Yes.
Right,
yeah,
right.
But you know where that's going.
What?
Yeah, you can't
You'll be interrupted.
hold back.
No.
It's impossible for you to just sit there and listen. It's not something that's in your blood.
You actually bring up a really interesting That was my topic. I was going to bring up something related to this, but
Okay.
but I will say that no, it is possible because sometimes things are bigger than me, Josh. Just like they're bigger than you.
Sometimes. that sentence alone, I think I rest my case on that. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah.
Sometimes things.
I could definitely. You can't make certain things about you. This is Josh's time to shine, if you will, or Dave's as well. Maybe occasionally mine too.
All right.
All right.
Well, Jimmy, you've sparked something within us. Maybe something will come out.
This
here.
guy Jimmy sounds like a real go-getter. I gotta
like
tell
him.
you, I like the cut of his jib.
I like the cut of his jib as well.
Good idiom. All right, so let's start the episode. I think we get the emails.
We'll give the email address. You want to give
the
the email address?
I will give the email address.
Whiskey?
Because we have, if I do 10 minus 4, that's 6. There's 6 slots left for this bottle of whiskey. And if you'd like to get a bottle sometime in the next 365 days, apparently.
It's coming.
It's coming. Email us at friends@fts.media. That's friends, plural, @fts.media. Love to hear from you. Give us suggestions. Whatever you like, just go ahead and fire that off to us, except criticism. We don't want criticism. Send that to friend@fts.media.
There you go.
And it goes to somebody else. Also, I'll explain the episode and how we operate every time we come together. I was going to say every week, but we are not on the every week schedule.
Yeah.
We've been
Try to be.
We come together with a topic that we have not discussed before, and we just discuss it, try to figure out what's going on, and eventually end the conversation in an awkward fashion. I think that's probably the best way to describe the podcast. Who wants to go first this week?
You're the host, Dave.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm looking at you. Omar, why don't you go first? You're hinting at something we already touched on maybe. So why don't you go ahead and lead into your topic?
He said he had something relevant to what we were just talking about, so I'm curious.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, so I did have something relevant to what we just talked about, but I don't think I want to talk about it as my topic.
It was like 2 minutes ago.
Here we go.
I know, but I just feel like last time I brought up like a work thing, it's just interesting. I have to basically talk about something all the time now, and I always tell people who are in our industry never to use superlatives. If you ever do, qualify them, right? And number 2, I always say if you're never talk too long. And these are things I've been saying to people for 15 years. However,
wait, isn't never talk too long? Never is a superlative, isn't
That's a superlative.
Didn't you qualify? You're never talk too long?
So, but now that I'm the messenger of something, I'm literally in that role that I'm usually critiquing people I work with on, and I break those rules every day. And literally yesterday, one of my friends gave me a slap in the face saying, you need to stop using superlatives when you're talking about this. That's not going to be my topic because it's not interesting to me.
So you just teed up something that's not your topic.
Well, unless you guys want to dive into it, we can.
No, I want you to pick a topic and run with it.
Okay. So how would you handle the situation? This is different. So you guys are well-educated people, right?
Yes, that's
Of course.
math aside. Yes.
2 of my bigger issues with people is when one specific issue would say for several words when they misuse words. For example, people very rarely use the word ironic correctly. I think it's used correctly maybe 13% of the time. I'm in the high 90s, how I use it, right? But usually they mean coincidence, right? Would we agree on that?
Correct.
Yes.
Right? So having said that, the other words, like for example, irregardless is not a word.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Right.
And I know people who use that word. I've mentioned their name maybe on the last podcast.
You have.
So at any rate, I'm in a meeting in New York last week with a very, very accomplished woman, like Stanford, like worked at Goldman, is a venture person, and they're talking about specifically their background and how they grew up. And this woman now runs a clean energy fund, right? So like
you are narrowing this field down to now people are starting to figure out who this is. So
I'm going on LinkedIn. I found out who it is.
So I'll stop there, but I will say I love this person, but they're talking about their background and how when they grew up in Asia, she said that she would go travel with her father.
You just did it again. You just did it again.
Oh my God, I had to stop. But it was interesting because she talks about she would travel with her father, and they would see a lot of wind turbines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then she goes, and it's ironic. I now run a group that's
Clean
focused.
energy.
I'm like, that's not
ironic.
It's not ironic.
Yeah, it's not ironic.
This apparently it triggered me, but I didn't say anything. And I usually do, but woman was so much smarter than me and so much more accomplished. I didn't feel like I had a leg to stand on. So I didn't say anything. And I usually do. So what would you have done in that situation? Do you ever correct people?
Well, it depends on the circumstance, but not professionally. You let that slide.
Haven't you?
What?
If it's a professional situation, you want to correct the person?
Come on.
If it's a misuse of words like that, and it's someone that I'm not that's on the other side of the table from me, no, I'm not going to say you're using that wrong. I do that with my friends and my family all the time.
I guess that does sound aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
So if it's hold on, it was one-on-one, me and this person, it was at a restaurant. So I was serve her lunch. So it's more informal.
And how many times have you met this person before?
Second time.
No.
No what?
No, you can't say anything. Second time. If this was like the fifth or sixth time and you had a rapport and it was, you're talking about, you know each other's family life because you talked about your family and she's talked about hers, and you know more than just from a business level.
If
then
she
you
has a piece of food stuck in her tooth,
yeah,
or her face,
yeah,
would you say something to her then?
It's pretty close to the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Second time.
I don't think it is. Here's the difference.
It's actually not as bad. I think it was if she's consistently using that word to describe her, that could hurt her. I mean, I don't know.
No. Here's the difference between the two. Something in their teeth is not done intentionally, and it could, it's embarrassing if she has another meeting after yours, and now she's got a piece of spinach stuck in her teeth. That's actually, you're helping her out. That's like, oh wow. If someone did that to me, I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't even realize that was the case. Calling her out on her vocabulary and grammar. That's insulting.
But you know what? Actually, I just remembered something. She didn't learn English until she was like 12 or 13.
You are narrowing this person down.
So maybe that's why. Actually, you know what? With her, God knows there are other languages. I only speak English, so I should really be careful how I critique people. I'm not critiquing her, by the way. I'm just bringing it up. I love this person.
I'm not. That doesn't factor in whatsoever to me.
It doesn't.
I don't know. No. It's pretty the equivalent of a verbal lettuce in the teeth. I mean, if she's using it incorrectly, doesn't know better. If you said it in a kind way to say, although it is kind of insulting their intelligence a little bit.
It's insulting someone.
She's clearly more intelligent than me. But haven't you guys had people use that to you in meetings, and doesn't it diminish the probability of you wanting to invest with them?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a turnoff, to be honest with you.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I was at a lunch, and there were two of us from my team, and then two people from the on the sales side that was kind of talking to us, and they said, "Hey, next time we come, we're going to bring John, and you'll love John. John literally eats charts and graphs."
Oh yeah, you said this before. This was on another podcast.
I did. And
you did. This was your topic on a different podcast.
Was it a topic? So I did.
Yes,
I pointed it out. I said literally, like that one I couldn't let go.
Right.
So,
right.
But I'm so unsure about your use of ironic. I think I wouldn't say it just because they could say like, no, it's right, and okay, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that word myself.
That one's tricky because it's like, okay, you know what she means when she's saying it, so maybe she doesn't use it in the exact literal sense of what irony is, but you know what she's saying.
Well, what would be ironic?
If her dad was like a wildcat oil driller, and then
it would be ironic.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
but the fact that she saw windmills at
what does that even mean? By the way, what does wildcat even mean? That's a term though for oil drilling. What does that mean? What's a wildcat?
I don't know. I thought you were making that up. I thought it was one of your own.
No, that's a term they use in Texas. They like I'm a wildcat driller.
I've never heard that actually, and we do work there. Yeah, really? I've never heard wildcat driller. Have you did?
I have heard that term. I always thought it was like some kind of piece of equipment or something like it. Who's got a Google machine that can?
That's what they actually call my dentist, the wildcat driller.
Here it is. The hunted wildcats. What is wildcat? Well, it's a type of drilling. We basically go in all directions at once. So you basically spread out rather than doing one.
Yep.
So
we call that an octopus driller. Would that make more sense?
It would. Yes, that would. So I guess I think I don't know what the right thing to do here is, but I don't think I would do it on a second meeting.
No, second meeting.
You realize,
no,
you're not using it right. But what
you
if it was
also-
like a really bad use? Like it's so obvious, that it's over the top. See, ironic to me is just kind of that. There's a.
But it's also used so incorrectly all the time. It's pervasive how often ironic is used incorrectly, and so and you understand what they're trying to convey by it.
I know why, by the way, it's used so much. It's so much fun to say that word.
Well, I think Alanis Morissette unleashed Pandora's box on ironic.
I think
it's
that's
a
right.
Great word. Like onomatopoeia, which we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
When we were talking, that's not as much fun to say. Ironic. It's like
no,
the R
onomatopoeia
and the C.
is much more fun to say than ironic.
Yeah, I disagree with that too. I like saying onomatopoeia.
Really?
Yeah.
Onomatopoeia is an incredibly fun word.
Oh.
You don't think
Popped
so?
in my head. It popped in my head yesterday randomly as I was peeing. I was like singing a song about peeing. I'm like, I'm peeing. I'm gonna pee. I'm like onomatopoeia, and I looked it up, and I finally realized what it meant. So I forgot what it meant.
That's how that happened.
It has nothing to do with urinating.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Now, if someone said "ain't," would you correct them?
Ain't a word.
Yeah. Would you?
When's the last time you heard?
I can't
someone
imagine.
use that word.
Do you listen to country? Do you listen to country music?
I do a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, there you go.
Actually, oh, that's
I
true.
don't, but my wife does, and I hear ain't quite a bit.
I mean, like in person though.
Yeah.
No, not really. I really don't hear anyone using ain't. You can say it though. Ain't is okay if you're saying it in like a very conversational way where you're trying to really drive home a point or something like that.
I ain't gonna do that.
It ain't happening here or something, right?
It ain't happening. Or
Right.
this ain't Texas.
You know what?
Something
I bet you Handsome Jim, who said what's good, I bet he uses that word. I bet he uses it perfectly.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
and I
don't
would
think
not
Jim Y
correct.
uses ain't.
He can let us know. He can let us know. But you're right. If it was used, I don't know if I'm correcting someone's vocabulary ever. Now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more.
Unless it's a friend or family member. That's the only way I'm doing it. I'm not doing it with someone in a professional setting like that. That's no way am I touching that. And especially because I know exactly what she means. I get it. So I can move past it. I'm by it already the second the sentence is out of her mouth. Omar, doesn't sound like you are.
But Josh, you are very comfortable at pointing out things to people that are sometimes uncomfortable. And you do it in a way that is, and this is obviously an art, right? You do it in a way that doesn't offend the person
if you do it with humor, if you do it with like a little bit of humor or something.
Yes, I think you could do it, and I should have done it.
My biggest one is good and well. When people go, "How you doing?" They go, "I'm good." No, you're not good. You're well.
You will point that out to
people?
me?
I don't like that. I do that with my kids all the time.
Yeah.
Is this a stab at Handsome Jim again for saying what's good? He should have said what's well.
No. That's two different things. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Poor Jim. Poor Jim. So what have you learned, Omar? Are you gonna? If this happens again?
What's your takeaway? What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is that I should have said something, and I
don't think you were listening.
Yeah, but no. Well, I would have been able to say it in a way that wouldn't have been as right, because God knows I have a word salad every day, all day long, and God knows there are things I say which are completely far-fetched.
Another reason not to bring it up.
If you said, it's funny, you used the word ironic. I was using it the other day, and I said it totally wrong.
And someone corrected me on it.
And then she could say,
"Did I say it right?" And I think the way you just said it, maybe didn't make sense. I don't know. So I'm going to talk to her about that. Actually,
I would reach out. This could be your third meeting now. You're past 3. You're fine. I think.
I wanted to talk to you about something.
I think you heard nothing of what Dave and I just said. You heard nothing.
You
had your mind set up on what you were going to do with this, regardless of what we said.
Irregardless of what you did. Yes.
Irregardless.
Yes.
But it would have been one thing to say in the moment. I think that's even better. To go back and revisit it days later, even worse. Even worse.
Should I tell her to go to the jerk store?
Yeah, the jerk store called.
No. This woman is delightful, and I think that I will bring it up to her because if English is her very progressed, but indeed her second language, I'd want to know. If I was in her shoes, I would want to know.
Okay, I don't know who she is. I can narrow her down because you've given us 17 details about her. But I don't know who she is. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she doesn't want this English lesson from you.
Yeah, there's like there's a non-zero chance that she will never talk to you again.
Not that, but maybe she's just going to be like, what an asshole. Are you kidding me? You're bringing that up from our meeting that was casual in a restaurant? He knows what I meant.
I did pay for the lunch.
Oh, well, that's
Oh, okay. Well, then you're free to call her the whore and a slut then.
Yeah.
What?
No, that's my point. Of course not. Just because you pay for the lunch doesn't mean you can pile shit on top of her.
I guess you're right.
Well, for the podcast though, I kind of want you to do it so you can report how it went. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go against my advice.
For ratings.
Are you
purposes.
guys, by the way, how often do you guys tell people that you have a podcast? Has the pace of it increased or decreased over the last 3 to 4 months?
No, if podcast comes up, I'll mention it. But no, I don't crowbar it into a conversation. No.
Yeah.
Well, you did in I think when we saw each other in October, for sure.
Yeah, I want people to know.
When's the last time either one of you talked to somebody about the podcast and said FTS and?
Oh God.
I did. I brought it up not too long ago, and I thought this one is tougher. Like, who do I recommend it to? Because I don't know if it'll get the humor or it's like I don't know. But I just did recently. I thought, oh, I have a podcast you should listen to, but because it does sound like you're bragging a bit too.
Correct.
Like there's an element of that.
Look, everyone and their mother has a podcast.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every white male in their 40s has a podcast.
Has a podcast. You kind of have to.
But I always say you're going to hate this podcast.
Yeah, yes, I always qualify it. It's not good. It's just us having fun.
What?
Yeah.
This
is why our ratings aren't going up.
Or I say rather than get a Porsche convertible, we all decided for our midlife crisis to do this together.
There you go.
Yeah, I suppose we're not advertising it correctly, are we? It sucks, but I have a podcast.
Well, look, we like to underpromise and underdeliver. That's our thing.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
you go.
That's right.
So okay, enough words. We're enough iron. At least is that ironic?
No, that's not ironic either.
That's a satire.
It's like rain on your wedding day. That's ironic.
That's right.
It's a free ride when you don't have to pay.
I'll go next here on my topic. It's kind of a cautionary tale. It leads to an overall question that I don't think we've talked about before, but I'm going to first start out with the story. So we were traveling this last week to Arizona, and my daughter was home by herself. It's just taking care of the place. She's got a cat, so she's
youngest or oldest daughter?
Youngest daughter.
Youngest daughter. Got it.
So, and also attached to our house, we have these Blink cameras. They're Blink doorbell, Blink cameras. So, like, we get a text
Blink
on our phone.
Do you have 182 of them?
I only have 6 of them.
Do you get that reference, Dave?
Oh, I didn't. Now I do.
There you go.
Blink it. Is it Blink 182? Is
Blink 182?
Okay, yeah. I don't know 182 Blink. You could have told me either. I would have said yes, but now I get it. Anyway, so I have 6 of them, and when there's some kind of activity, I get an email that will say on my phone, it just pops up. You got a notification, right? But if you have to open it, and you can see what the video is. So we got one in Arizona, and it was off our back porch, and it was a cardinal was sitting on the camera, and you could just see the tail feathers right in front of the camera.
Wow.
So I sent it to the other kids. We have a group chat with my 3 kids, my son-in-law, my wife, and I. And I said, hey, look, a cardinal is mooning us. And I sent the picture.
Yeah.
And then my oldest daughter sent back a text that said, you better call the police, in all caps. And so then I thought, haha, that's funny. That was her response. And then I said, my daughter's name is Megan. I said, Megan, get out of the house. As a quickly
joke.
escalating a fool. Yeah, just go for it. So Megan is home by herself. This is how she receives all these texts. She gets a Blink notification and then gets 2 texts because, on her front screen, it only shows 2 texts. It shows a Blink
and the latest
first 2 texts says, you better call the police. And it's me saying, Megan, get out of the house. So
my God.
Freaks out, right? And so she gets really scared. But she opens up. She finally does look at the camera and shows that, okay, this was all meant to be a joke. So she sends then a text back eventually of, you realize I only get to see the first 2 texts. And I was looking like, what does that mean? And then it kind of dawned on me what happened. So I called her. She was not happy. We totally scared her that someone was trying to get in the house or something. And I thought, for one, I wanted to use the podcast as a is this a cautionary tale? Like, be careful, like what you send as your text. Like, I've never thought about the thought that
You know what would be
jokes are
ironic,
fun-
Dave? So it would be ironic if that cardinal then broke in and stole everything.
That's true.
No, it's like the
That's
killer
ironic.
bunny. It's a killer bunny in Monty Python.
Yeah, no,
That
it's not
bunny's
that at
not a
all.
killer. No, if it was a killer cardinal
It's not. I didn't say a killer cardinal.
or
Oh my
whatever,
gosh.
a bank robber cardinal.
All right.
All right,
good.
getting
Go
back to my
Get
the
back.
overall question. I don't think we talked about this before, but I was going to ask you guys: have you ever done something that you meant to be a joke that sort of went out of control?
That
got
backfired.
yeah,
That
that
backfired.
Look who you're talking to.
Well,
What
I
are you
figured
like-
I'd have fertile ground here. So,
Oh God.
any jump to mind?
You know, yeah. Okay. There's one. There is one, but this is the
question.
first thing I think of. I can probably think of better things if I really. So in our office, and Dave, I think you know this story.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I played a practical joke on one of our coworkers, and what I did was a very innocent thing. You put basically clear tape, on the top of their phone receiver, so they can't so they can speak, but the other person on the other end can't hear you. And it's hilarious because then you hear them, going screaming and try to figure out why they can't hear you. And I did this. I thought it was funny. And I'm waiting, and I was just watching. I'm just waiting for this person to get a phone call. I'm like, come on, phone, ring, ring. And then I had to go into a meeting. And then I left. And I'm in a meeting for 2 hours. I come back, and this person has called IT. And IT is there, and they've removed her phone. They're ordering her a brand new phone.
Oh my
And I went,
God.
stop. And he goes, stop. It's just tape. Just take the tape off. But that kind of backfired on me.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I saw them doing all that. That the IT guy hadn't left yet by that time. But that's the first thing that popped into my head when you said that.
That's funny. Omar, do you have anything?
So, I mean, I say things all the time in meetings that sometimes they're just not taken well. I mean, obviously the soul man
No.
thing comes,
Yes,
the soul
the
man
soul man.
conversation comes to mind.
Yes.
But yeah, there are other things that I've said. I gotta think of something else. I have some other ones but I'd rather not even talk about them because they were so
They're
scarring
that bad? Yeah.
for the other party. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
can't. You know me. What did I say when we were being interviewed by that wonderful publication that we run towards racism rather than away from it?
Yeah, you said
but it's
something
funnier.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's funnier. So they're not always hits, right?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
Has it made you more
can't-
cautious then? Like, do you feel like, all right, I need to like back off on, or is it just, well, if
There's some
does
things.
make a
There's
difference.
there's definitely some things where you think about, should I be doing this? Like, just something like that thing. Like, what if she got a serious call? What if she got a call from someone who, she really needed to speak to, and
Right.
and I had done that. So you think about things like that. But look, it's worth it. It's just worth it. So I had.
It's always worth it.
It's
Right.
always worth it. So I had another incident.
I was at a liquor store 2 days ago,
ahead.
actually.
Yeah.
And I bought 4 bottles of wine. Okay. And the guy at the front was just like older African American guy, very engaging, very nice. And I go, hey, is there any special bottles here you recommend? And he looks over to his left, and there's this Indian guy there. And he goes, well, he's the owner. He would know. And I look at the Indian guy. I go, is he Hindu? Is he Indian? He goes, yeah. He goes, he doesn't know anything about liquor or wine. I look at the Indian guy, and I go, what's up, Banchot? And do you guys know what the word Banchot means?
I think you've told me this once before, but I don't
It's
remember.
like
It's
wildly offensive,
derogatory, right?
Yeah, so it's a really bad curse word in Hindi or Urdu. And so Madachot means mother effer,
Yeah.
right? Banchot's even worse. And for whatever reason,
Worse than that?
this phrase has not picked up in the US. It means sister effer. Right? So whenever I meet anyone who's remotely Indian or Desi, I always go within 15 seconds of meeting them. I'm like, what's up, Banchot? Some phrase of that. So I said this to this guy. And he looked at me. His eyes got really wide, right? and then he started dying laughing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I've said this, and my mom's like, don't say it to anybody else. Someone might get really mad at you. My dad told me I could get arrested. Last night I told him the story, but like, you can't get arrested for this stuff, obviously. But he's like, no, for the person that they hit you, they could get arrested. I go, oh, that's true. But people always love it, right? Because it's so provocative and such a ridiculous word to use, especially in America. So I do stuff like that. I don't want to tone it down because
but you know what?
now,
but the difference there is that you have a connection with that guy that other people don't. You're from the same part of the world, and so he knows
true.
that you're not insulting him. It'd be different if Dave went in there and said that.
It's still dicey though, right? I mean,
yeah,
who knows who this? It's a stranger. Throw that out there.
Yeah, but it's how you say it too. You know,
I guess so. Like, it's good news. You can get out of there and never see him again. Although
I
comes around and beats you with
the
a bat.
reactions I get from fellow Daisies when I say that to them is this priceless. It's amazing. It's such a great
That's
word.
funny.
So my favorite word, actually. My favorite word.
I always tell myself, like, I've got to like really think twice before I do this or say that, whatever. And a day passes and I'm right back saying whatever comes off the top of my head. I
do it too. So there's this one other incident just popped in my head when you said this, Dave. We're at a restaurant. There's 3 families, and the check comes, and the waitress gave it to me for some reason, and I said, okay, guys, we'll just split this 3 ways. And yeah, of course. And so I collected their credit cards, put mine in there, and the waitress came back and said to me, oh, you want to split this evenly? And I said, no, 80, 10, and 10. And I handed her the card, right? And it came back, and she charged my one buddy 80% of the check, and me and the other guy 10 each. And I had to get. I felt all. I'm like,
you had to rerun it. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt awful. Not so much for him; it was hilarious. But for her, I'm like, yeah, I was kind of kidding about that. It's really just the third and the third.
Well, yeah. Yesterday I was helping somebody move, which I swore that I would never do again, and I actually did.
Yes.
And one of the guys that was moving with us he's a middle school teacher, but he's also has been a pastor. He's a very religious man, and he was talking about how like the attire that girls will wear in school is like really suggestive. And he said I'm constantly like turning my head really quickly. And I said, towards?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And that did not go over. Like, that was not a hit. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. And I thought, then I need to think about what I say. And then someone says another thing and I say it again. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I suppose there's no teaching in you.
It's just instinctual. It's like it's a go-to. Yeah.
That's funny that you said it too, because
yeah, of course. That's the first thing I thought of. Towards?
Right.
Yeah. Immediately.
What's the matter with us?
That's funny.
All right. Well, that's my topic. Josh, why don't you bring it home here?
Yeah. So this was a topic I was going to do last time because it's because of the when it was, but I had that other thing that popped in that became more relevant that I want to discuss. But so I'm going to go back to it. So when we last met, it was Groundhog's Day. It was near Groundhog's Day, and so I wanted to use that as a launching pad to gauge your interest on something, or gauge what your thoughts are on something, because this is something I thought about. And then I've changed my mind since, and I'm going to set this up. It's all going to make sense in a second. So Groundhog Day, by the way, no, I don't know anyone who gives a shit about what Punxsutawney Phil says. That's the stupidest thing ever. People are you, is anyone on the edge of their seat going, did he see his shadow? Who cares?
Well, is it like the opposite too? If he sees his shadow, it means it's going to be a longer winter. He sees his shadow. It's 6 more weeks if he does it. It's stupid.
You're making this shit up. It's nonsense.
It's tradition. Anyway, it's nice.
I get it, but people are like, "What had happened? Did he see his shadow?" As if that's going to dictate what's going to happen with weather the rest of the winter. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Anyway, but on Groundhog's Day, they always show the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, and you know that movie, right?
Love it.
I sure have.
Yeah. Great movie, and basically for our listeners who haven't seen it, it's this guy, and he's a news reporter, weatherman actually, and he experiences the same day over and over again. Like he can't get out of it. And it's Groundhog Day every day for him. And what he does is he eventually decides, okay, I'm going to do something different with this day each time until it finally, the whole thing kind of breaks and then blah, blah, blah. But that's the essence of the movie. So then my question is, if you could experience like a Groundhog Day not necessarily Groundhog's Day, but a Groundhog Day, where you just relive the same day over and over again, would you do it? And for how long? And so I have my answer, but I don't want to give my answer yet because I want to hear what you initially.
Oh, that's interesting.
Instinctively, what you would say to that.
Well, I saw an article that tried to break down how long his experience was in the movie.
Yeah, right.
Because I think the thing that you would have to say happened the longest is he starts learning the piano from like 0 to playing a piece like a concert pianist,
Yep.
right? So they were like, that has to at least been, if you do once an hour every day for a year, or it was like, I think they ended up, it's years that he was stuck in this loop. I think they calculated.
You also learn languages.
Yeah, that's right. So, and you had to do that simultaneously
Yes.
learning the piano, right? So I forget I should try to look it up. Years would seem to be a bit much.
Yeah.
Because the limiting factor would be you'd always start in the same place. Like if I could have the same day but be in Europe or be in California, like you have to always start from the same.
And assume that you don't miss your family.
Well, it's your day. Well, it's a day. You wake up, you could do whatever the hell you want that day.
No, but my point is like, what if the loop I pick has nothing to do with I don't see my mom or my dad? I'm like,
what if he's in Puerto Rico?
You're not getting it. You can do whatever you want that day. You can go see your family.
Oh, I can pick out whatever I do in that day.
You've seen the movie, right?
But if he wakes up in Puerto Rico.
No, I know, Josh. My point is maybe my day doesn't involve like the way I want to do over and over again. It doesn't involve my family. It's like me.
Well, then that's your choice.
Italian.
But that's your choice.
Spanish girl I met in.
But again, Omar, that's your choice.
Yeah.
It's your
choice.
You
could fly from Puerto Rico.
Of course you can. Why not?
See your folks.
Yeah.
Then you'd only get
let's take out family stuff though, because that's obviously
no.
For me, it'd be my family. I'd be with my family.
No. I'm not asking that. I mean, you're not getting this.
I'm getting mixed up.
Would you do the Groundhog Day? Would you have this situation? And if you could have the situation, how long would you do it for? In other words, you're going to wake up every day.
Too granular. Got it.
Yes, you're getting way too granular. You could do whatever the hell you want that day, but you have 24 hours. That's what you have.
But it does make a difference if Omar wakes up in New York.
Yes.
He's got 24 hours.
Yes.
It starts there and he can branch out from there. He could spend half the day with his parents. Where if he starts in Puerto Rico, his limit is Puerto Rico, right? So it does matter.
Not necessarily. But
and it's actually true. Like one of my, let's say I do 1,000 Groundhog Days in a row, 700 of them could encompass me spending the whole day with my parents.
Dude,
right?
You can do whatever you want that day.
Yeah. So I think I understand. I'm with you now. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure you do.
I would do it. I'd love to.
I know you would do it. How long?
I think I would do it for 1,000 days.
Wow. So 3 years.
I basically have that right now in Puerto Rico.
Okay, you're not getting this.
No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it in the sense that in Puerto Rico, every day for me is the same.
Right, but it's not.
So I kind of have that whatever. So I'm okay. I know I can do it because I've been doing it kind of.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you keep your skills after you're done?
Yes, of course. That's Bill Murray. Same thing with Bill Murray.
So he kept his piano. All right. So
I would do 1,000. I would do 1,000 days.
He remembered everything he did too. It's not as if your memory's erased.
You don't lose your memory.
No, everyone around you does, as if it's the first time that's all that's happening, the first time you're saying those things to those people. Just like the movie. It has to be just like the movie.
I'd say yes. I think a year I would do. I think, and then I would try to think, okay, what are some things that I could really focus on and improve on? What it could be playing guitar, or I would want to do that. I think anything that would take longer than a year to get good at it. Like I would play golf. I would go to driving range every day for a while. Maybe
now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Now you're getting it.
Because that's
Omar, is this clicking for you? Does any of this click now? Omar?
A little bit more.
It's basically a free pass to practice a skill over and over and over.
If you want to practice a skill, you don't have to practice a skill. You use this day, whatever the hell you want to do during this day. Because remember, it erases the next day for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'll give you my answer in a second, but keep going, Dave. But yeah.
Well, the other question I have is I've always wanted to rob a bank. Like, could I rob a bank?
You can. Yes, that's right.
Because you get a do-over.
Even if you get shot and killed, you wake up the next day. Just like Bill Murray, he drove off a cliff, remember, with the groundhog?
Yeah. Yep.
He did a whole bunch of stuff. He jumped off a building one day. Remember that?
Yep. You could
That's
try
true.
these psychedelics that everyone's talking about.
do
And
whatever
right,
you
That was
want.
yesterday for me. So, but this is interesting. David robbing a bank, huh?
Why
Well,
not?
If I had 1,000
No,
days,
Josh,
or,
he just said he's always wanted to rob a bank.
oh well,
Yeah, that's weird. That's a
that-
weird statement.
Would you like? Would
listen,
you wear
I
like
mean,
a?
I've
like a
always
Richard
wanted to
Nixon
see if I
mask
could
when you're
figure
doing
it
it?
out. I
Would you
wanted
wear?
like
What would you wear on your face? Would you wear would you cover it, or would you wear like Point Break with the president, like one of the dead presidents?
yes. I would
Isn't that-
actually,
is that-
ironically, I would wear a Keanu Reeves mask. Is what I would wear. That's
That's
That is
actually
ironic.
maybe the right use of that word.
all right. Yes, I would wear a mask. I don't know. Like it's the challenge. It's the puzzle of it, not the fact that I want to do something evil. But
Correct. That's right.
and maybe not bank.
Maybe you could go up to someone that you have whatever and just punch him in the face.
But yeah,
Yes.
I would spend a day doing that.
Which Bill Murray does. Remember, Bill Murray does that
The
to Ned
insurance
Ryerson.
salesman, right?
Ned Ryerson. Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going longer. I think I want at least a couple
Ah.
years now.
So
See,
funny.
I said 3 years.
This is hilarious because it's so funny to watch you guys think about this in real time because this is how I thought about it. Originally, I'm like, I would like to do this for like a couple weeks because I think I'd be like, I could keep doing this, waking up. And the problem is no one remembers what I did yesterday to them or with them you know what I mean? No one remembers that except you. And it just keeps like an Etch-a-Sketch, just keeps going back to square one. So I'm thinking, I think eventually I'd be exhausted by it. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was getting where you guys went. And now I'm thinking I would like to do it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the reason for that is
5 years.
yes, because number one, you don't age. Okay. No one around you age. You can spend more quality time with your parents who wouldn't age, with loved ones. You
Exactly.
could go see people you haven't seen, and all that you could do all this and not age and not waste any of your actual life doing it.
But you
See what
wouldn't
I'm saying?
create memories for them. It would create memories for you.
For you.
Right.
And it would be neat because like it's not just the skill thing. I would like to like get better at some certain sports
Mm-hmm.
and then come back, and then snap out of it and be like, boy, what happened to you?
Right.
You're unbelievable. I'd like to do something like that. I'd like to do like face fears. Except snakes. I still don't, even if I had 5 years, I don't want to
besides
touch
snakes,
snakes.
what are your fears? Like clowns? What are you talking about here? Public
Really,
speaking?
really mostly snakes. I don't like
Just snakes. So you want to face your fears except snakes?
No,
but
I
that's
don't know.
your only
Maybe
fear?
jump out of, maybe do like jumping out of a plane, or maybe
Yeah.
flying a plane,
Right.
or learning how to fly a plane, or maybe I don't know, maybe going over to Ukraine.
We only
Who
have 24
knows?
hours.
I've jumped
only
out
have
of a
24
plane before. It's overrated.
Okay, but you only have 24 hours. But here's the beauty of it, Dave. You get everything reverses back. So the amount of money you have now is
No, that's
enough
right.
that you could do whatever the hell you wanted that day. You
Now,
could
what
go,
if
like one day I would go to Vegas. I'd get a private jet. I'd go to Vegas and I just live like a friggin' idiot. And
Oh, I might do a year of just that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Who knows? Just to do it.
Well,
We
you
should-
also know what the cards are going to be eventually, right?
That's
When you're-
right.
If you're playing
if
blackjack.
you go to the same place, but what's the point of winning all that? It doesn't do anything for you. You don't get to keep it. That's the
It's a
point.
nice feeling. Winning is a nice
So-
feeling, Josh. Maybe you're not used to that. Like Dave and I have been winning for so long, we're actually bored of it. We're basically Trump supporters.
Thank you for including
We're
me
so
in that.
bored of winning. We're so bored of it.
Here was my caveat though. So like, for example, like I'd want to get really good at hockey, right? Or something like that. Just use that example. I would also want to wake up the next morning when I have another lesson or go play another game or whatever and not feel sore from playing the day before. And I think you don't. I think the way that the Groundhog Day works in the movie, it's not like he's ever sick one day. He doesn't get up one day and he's sick or has shingles.
What if you're working out? Do you keep your?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think you keep your gains. You think?
Yeah, you keep your gains because you keep your mental gains. You would. keep
Yeah,
your,
I
you
thought
would keep your
physical might be
gains.
different though. I don't
No,
because
No, you would if he learns how to play piano. That's a physical and mental thing. He knows how to play piano.
Well, then, according to that logic, you would be sore the next
Well,
day.
so that's my question. If I'm sore and I can't keep doing this, the maybe I'd have to do it every other day. I'd have to literally have a calendar of the things I wanted to get really amazing at.
right.
So the more I thought about it, the more I'd want to do it for a longer period of time. But there would be a point, and I just don't know when this is. There would be a point where you'd be like, I just want to go back to normal life. It has to be, right?
You'd want to have some stakes in your life, right? Because you would live a life with no stakes. I think something would lose its.
Maybe, yeah, that's
special.
right. That's right, yeah.
But one of the greatest things I was thinking of, you could watch all the Netflix shows you have in your queue. Imagine catching up on every single show that's out there.
Well, that's what you would do. You would exhaust Netflix.
You know how many good TV is out there?
That's true, but you don't get any of the newer stuff. So when you go back you'd be like, oh, I've watched.
That's my answer. As soon as I'm done with all the shows I want to watch, then I want new content.
All right, interesting. But the more it's funny because the more when I originally thought about it when I was watching the movie, I'm like, I think I'd want to do this, but not long.
I would actually want to infiltrate like the UAE and become like close to like MBS and then eventually try and kill him.
Yeah, but you see,
here's the problem.
Here's the problem.
No, but I over and over again. So
yes,
meet people, I can drop names and then eventually like find out a way to get next to MBS.
Yeah.
Or Trump, for that matter.
Here's the problem. You couldn't, if you killed him during that day, the next day he'd be alive.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I just want to see what it feels like.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
You
That's
criticize me for robbing a bank? You want to assassinate somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
But it would, I think I'm now going out to 5 years. I think I want longer. Even all the books you could read and just, you're not wasting any time. You're just like, you could just be
yes.
Yeah.
Imagine just saying, I'm going to train for Jeopardy.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know what I mean? Just even something like that. Just
I think narrow. You guys are going off on another end right now. You guys are going too long. If you really actually did it.
Well, I think the question is
5 years. 5 years is too long. I think.
But you could pack in 24 hours. You could pack it in.
Yeah.
And you could just take a rest day. I mean, it wouldn't matter if you.
And you have money, and you have money because you're getting that money back. Mm-hmm. You could do whatever you wanted in an expedited manner.
I want to also see if I could end up with my own talk show. I couldn't do that in one day. I think that'd be impossible.
No, but what you could do, you could do it in one day, but you could build up to it. You could constantly learn things and then see if the challenge would be if you could get signed to one. You would never do the talk show itself, obviously, because it's just a day. But maybe get signed to one. And then maybe when you snap out of it, then you do that again. And then you do have your talk show.
Yep. See if I can date Alessandra Daddario. I love her.
The possibilities are almost endless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was thinking,
see if I get like one of my friends' wives to cheat on them with me. Oh wait, did I say that out loud?
That's how you'd be spending your 5 years.
I'd watch out if Josh and your wife cooking was quite the.
Yeah,
I know.
Stop baking.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I was thinking, like, if I wanted to spend this day with money, like, what's the fastest day from when I wake up to getting that money? Like, if I woke up in Vegas, I could walk downstairs, put a bet on, and win something like immediately, and then I have money for the rest of the day. But if I wake up in St. Louis, how could I make that happen?
Well, you would have to get a private jet, but you probably can get a cashier's check at the bank that morning.
Well, that's if I use my own money and get it back. That's right. But let's say I want
get it back.
Say I want $100 million, or I want a lot of money. What would be a way of getting that as quickly as possible?
That's the tricky part. That's tricky.
I think you'd have to go to some place where there's gambling, right?
Yeah, I think you would have to do that, or you'd have to. Again,
you know what? Macau.
Steal it somehow. You have to steal it. You'd have to steal it.
If you went to Macau, you spend 20 hours on a flight to get. You'd only have 3 hours at the end.
Oh,
so,
that's actually true. By the way, I've been looking into places into the Middle East. It's like literally 20 hours. I'm like, I can't spend 20 hours traveling anywhere.
So I did that. I did that once. I took a direct flight from Newark to Singapore. Direct. Newark to Singapore. It's the longest direct flight on the planet. It's 18 and a half hours. And it's a long time. But it actually wasn't bad because if you have the lay flat beds and the big TVs and the food's good and
what are you flying private? Like what are you talking about? Who flies like that?
That's how you fly. It's Singapore Air.
Is it Cathay Pacific?
Singapore. Are you listening? Singapore Air.
Singapore Airlines.
Yeah.
But you can lay down one of them. You get a pod.
Yeah, in a pod. It's pretty
there
awesome.
There are no direct flights the Middle East, apparently from the U.S. Sadly,
No.
but yeah, you're right. So that would not work. But like
No.
Vegas would work, I guess.
Yeah,
Josh,
I mean, look,
that's a. I like that question a lot. I'm gonna think more about that.
That is a really
See?
good question. Yep.
Thank
Yep,
you.
That's a good.
and the more you think
It
about
only
it,
took
there's-
it only took 40 episodes. That's good, Josh.
yeah, I don't even want to bring up some of the topics you had.
I know. I know.
Says the guy who wants more spicy rigatoni and loses his shit. But the more I think about it, the more I want to extend the time. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. You can be with the people you love
Yeah.
without aging, and yeah,
Without aging. And you could space it out. You could be like, I miss doing this. And the only thing is like, this is my one thing. Like if you woke up at home and it was a day that was a normal day, you'd have to explain to your wife,
every
like,
day.
yeah, hey, I'm leaving. Or you would just walk out the door and not say anything because it's just going to be erased the next day. Just ever yell at you like, where are you going? And then you're getting text from her all day long.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
that's true.
you'd figure it out.
You have
You'd
to
figure
switch
out
that
what your,
off. Yeah.
what your
yeah,
one
exactly.
text is that you keep it quiet.
Yeah. Where are you? What are you doing? Why
For
did
5
my
years, I couldn't figure out how to get her to stop texting.
why does my phone say you're in Vegas? That would be the one tricky part. You'd have to eventually learn how to shut that out.
It's a,
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
the first thing you do, you wake up and hack your phone. That's
Actually,
it.
good question. How many people in your life track your location?
My kids and my wife, we're all on each other's thing. We all track each other.
Yeah, I
That's
think
it.
we
Nobody
do.
else? Do I track
Nobody
you?
else.
Do I
Actually,
track
No,
you,
you
Josh?
don't
Omar,
track me.
I have some earbuds that you, I think, gave me, and they were registered to use, so you
Maybe
can
they're being
track my
tracked.
location. Actually,
He's tracking everyone.
Josh, no, actually, I do track you, Josh.
No, you don't.
Yep. You're 98 miles away right now.
Okay,
I just have
well,
a picture of your driveway.
no, that's my old house. Good try. Very funny. Very
really?
funny. Good try. That's my
funny.
old house.
Wait, are you
Anyway.
sure?
Yeah. Am I sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure where I know where I live.
Allison?
Yeah, that's my old house. Don't give anything out.
I'm talking about an Elvis Costello song right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is my old residence.
Honestly, Omar, I think
you
you
don't
are.
track
You can
shit.
track me right now.
I think I track Dave too, actually.
track
Hold on,
Dave.
let me
Yeah,
pull
I
this
think
thing.
you do have the ability to track me. So if I was doing anything, actually, if I disappear, they come find me. Something happens.
So
to me.
David is 729 miles away. It's a 12-hour drive to your house.
Okay, yeah, because
Alright.
you looked up what he's in St. Louis.
Oh wow!
No,
you
I
have
think
nice-
he's. I kid you not. He is tracking
he's
me.
tracking
yes.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's
That's so good.
cute. I
Throw
think it's
those
cute.
AirPods out, Dave.
It's totally worth it.
Throw those out. Oh my
I
god.
think it's endearing. My mom tracks me everywhere I go. She knows
Yeah.
where I am.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's nice. I should share it with everybody. All right, guys. Well, this was a fun episode. Probably one of our
Yes.
longer ones, but that's maybe on the 10s. We have a little bit extended episode, but we had a lot to cover,
It was nice.
and we got to celebrate some time on Omar's birthday, which is
Happy
fun.
birthday.
Josh, hope your shingles go away.
Yeah,
And,
you and me both. I have to get on a plane now, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's going to
Yeah.
be brutal. To
That-
sit
Where
in
are
one
you
of those
flying to
seats.
now?
I'm flying to St. Louis.
Oh my God! You should give him
Yeah.
a get out of jail card here on this trip.
Well,
No, I'm going.
He doesn't have to. Yes, he
I'm
has
going.
to get out of jail card.
Yeah, I'm
But-
sorry, Dave. That's not cool. But listen to me, Josh. I hope it gets better soon.
Thank you.
But most importantly, this Jim character. I think that's exactly what we're looking for from our
Yeah,
listeners.
big
That's
thank
right.
you to Jim Y. Love it.
Creative,
Keep 'em
creative
coming.
feedback. It's fantastic.
That's
He
right.
cares. Jim cares. What's good, Jim? Right back at you.
What's good, Jim? That's right. All right. Well, what a great episode. Happy birthday, and sayonara to everybody else. See you, everybody.
See ya. Elmar.
Smell you later.
There you go. Nice.